Do you think you could beat somebody in a sword fight?
Yeah.
I do it every day in the bathroom, dude.
So Bob.
Yeah.
Satan.
What if we had like a telegraph up there that just like read everything?
Teleprompter?
Oh yeah, that.
Telegraph.
Freedom.
We don't know who Gilgamesh is.
I mean, I've baked a cake before and I've eaten it. So.
Okay. Do you work out with your music playing?
Mine's Abraham Lincoln. Please don't take it.
I'm not going to take Abraham.
Please, please.
Oh man.
Please don't
Honestly,
take it.
no. You know what? Since we're talking about painting,
I feel naked. People often think that we don't have ears.
Can we have your copyrights?
no.
What's your checking
worth
account
something.
number? Gladiator was a slave. He's pretty cool. You wouldn't want to be him?
No.
Okay.
Fighting for my life.
Yeah,
I'm
that
okay.
every day.
Yeah, but he's good at it, but you'd be good at it.
Just
Do
killing
they get-
people. I'd rather not kill people.
Do gladiators get like riches and glory?
I don't think I think maybe like to embellish themselves to put on a show, but I don't think so.
Right.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, I think
They don't get
some of
anything.
them had like their own level of fame, but it was only like to a certain extent. Like
Yeah.
you're still like a piece of shit gladiator.
fame
but,
doesn't
like, you're
equal
a cool gladiator
money
that
and
everybody
power for
knows. Yeah.
I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure with gladiators and stuff, most of the time there's not like popular gladiators. I think they were mostly just like slaves that were being fed to the tigers and shit. Like it wouldn't be like as entertaining as movies and shows make it seem. It's more of like you're sending them to die. If they somehow beat a tiger, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
But they're not going to, so they just die.
I think though there is some historic accuracy to like the plot of the movie Gladiator, like the guy that Joaquin Phoenix plays. The hell is his
Joker.
Commodus, I think was his name. I don't know, like he sucks. Like he was like just a horrible human being. Like he was actually killed by a gladiator, but like the
Yeah,
the rest of the plot was, I think, pretty much made up. But it's a
There's probably
badass
some
movie
cool
either
shit.
way.
There's some cool shit that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Spartacus, I think Spartacus is based off a real thing. He's definitely not real, but
It says gladiators earned money each time they fought, and if they survived their 3 to 5 years, they were set free.
Oh,
Criminals and slaves included.
sweet.
So they weren't doing it for free.
yeah, they I think they had to earn their freedom. Basically, that's what Spartacus's story was. He was like a general that got enslaved, and then he had to earn his freedom. And he was good at it. How long do you think you'd last in a fight pit with like a sword and shield? They throw you in against just some other schmub.
Am I like as old as I am right now?
Yeah, like
Like
right
right
now.
now.
Right now, if you were to have
Did they have like big tournaments where it's just like they threw a bunch of people together? It was like 1v1.
like a battle, what are those called?
Battle Royale.
No, there's a word for it.
A 1v1.
No, like whenever it's just like a bunch of people all together.
A free for all.
Brawl.
Close enough, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Why not?
I probably wouldn't last long. They're probably big
I'm
guys.
saying like 1v1 though.
Oh, 1v1.
Well, as soon as they
Still
kill
probably
him,
not
he's
that
dead.
long.
So,
I
however
mean, I
long
have
that
no
takes.
experience with the blade. They probably do.
No, I'm saying if it's just like another like schlub, just
Another
dude.
one.
Yeah.
Oh.
You think you'd like have the edge because you watch anime, so you're good with swords?
Yeah, probably. Like I'd just like flash like past him, and he'd just like slice in half.
Oh my umu.
I don't know. I don't know what's the answer to that. Like I'd last like 3 matches.
I don't know. That's
Yeah, that's why I said as soon as he's dead, he's dead.
As soon as I match
however
someone
long that
that was
takes.
stronger than me, yeah, I'm dead.
Do you think you could beat somebody in a sword fight?
I don't know. I mean, if
Fucking
they're
loser.
not as good as me, yeah.
I do it every day in the bathroom, dude.
So Bob,
Yeah. Anyway, this is Veska.
Hey,
welcome to the podcast. Welcome as our first guest. Congratulations.
thank you.
He's
Happy
a
to be
prolific black metal. Is that the genre you define in?
here. Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly,
Black metal artist?
Yeah, black metal. Yeah.
What made you decide to go into black metal in specific? Because that's a very it's not a niche lane, but it's definitely
Yeah.
not the first heavy metal genre that comes to mind.
So I got really into black metal specifically like when I was in high school. I don't know why. Like I was into some other genres of metal, like kind of under that umbrella, like around that time, and I just kind of like gravitated towards black metal from a very young age. And then I had played bass guitar and did vocals in a black metal band like growing up, and then eventually I started Veska and just kind of went in that direction with it. But I don't know, there's just something about it. It's like the rawness and like the just sort of the aggressive sort of attitude of it. I love it.
Well,
What made you want to start like making actual music rather than just diddling around on the guitar?
So honestly, it started off mostly as a hobby. Like I started actually picking up the guitar one day and like was like messing around with doing different like recordings and things like that. And then but like before I knew it, I started experimenting with like drum machines and stuff like that. And then before I knew it, I had like a couple songs done and was like, oh shit, like I should like put a name to this and actually kind of try to make something of it. And then now this is where I'm at now. So
Right.
I feel like that's kind of the natural progression of musicians
Hobby.
if
Hobby
they stick
first.
with it.
yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy. Like I never thought that it was gonna go to the point that and I mean it's really not like at like a super high level now, obviously. I mean, but like I never thought I'd have like merch that I'd be like that people would want to buy, and like people would actually be reaching out, you know, giving compliments and things like that. So like it's just it's like a super cool thing. Like I love it.
Right.
Let me ask you this about black metal, because I find black metal to have like notoriously trash quality production. Do you find that to be kind of part of its charm?
Sometimes, yeah. So like within black metal, there's definitely like a reverence surrounding like kind of the lo-fi sort of like lack of production quality, and like it's cool. Like I really dig that, and like a lot of people really like that kind of vibe to it. And I think it like it stays true to like what black metal initially was all about. But like for like my stuff personally, like I try to kind of go above and beyond that a little bit just to try to add some production value to it. Just I don't really know why,
I mean, I
but
think that's actually interesting, because even the black metal artists that I enjoy, it's still not like crazy production, but
Yeah.
it's like bearable.
yeah.
Even
Yeah.
for just the writing itself. But for someone to actually take black metal and give it quality production, I think that would actually that'd be pretty kind of groundbreaking in the genre.
Yeah, I mean, and like there's a lot of like black metal has become like pretty popular like in the mainstream now. I mean, like I mean even like Mayhem, one of the, you know, the founder of the subgenre, you know, like their stuff is very, very high quality now. And you know, you've got a lot of other bands that are, you know, on major labels that have just, you know, the same quality that you'd see in any other genre of metal or other music. But there's still obviously plenty that are like staying true to like the roots of black metal, and
Right.
and keeping it very, very lo-fi, which is cool. You know, I mean, whatever people want to do.
What are your biggest inspirations?
Oh man.
First ones that come to your mind. It's. I mean, I'm assuming it's endless.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, as far as like metal goes, I mean, Watain was one of the first ones that like really made me want to go down like this path. Young and in the Way, they're not around anymore, but they were like a really cool American band that kind of blended like some crust with some black metal that was awesome. Uada, which actually I'm wearing their hoodie right now. They're like one of my favorite bands. Wolves in the Throne Room. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot.
What point? I wanted to know what point, because you don't do music as like a main thing. It's not your main source of income, if at all. But what point would you get to that would make you go, okay, I think this is what I'm going to do now? and you just quit everything?
So actually, like this year, I'm working on expanding from a solo project to a full band, and I'd like to start playing some shows locally. And I think sort of the launching point from there would be like if we've managed to get enough attention playing live that we could do like a kind of a small like East Coast tour or something like that. Like at that point, when we're talking about playing outside of our hometown, for me that would be like, okay, now it's time to consider this as being like a real thing to do and kind of quit my day job. But until then, kind of have to keep it.
Yeah, that's good. Jake, do you listen to black metal at all?
Yeah.
That's what I
A
thought.
lot more like heavy metal though. So I'm not exactly sure. I think a lot of people that are going to watch this have no idea what black metal even is. I think people know what like metal is. Some people know what heavy metal is, but
If only we had somebody who could.
yeah, I was going to say
Describe
he'd
it.
probably be like a great guy to like describe exactly like what black metal is. So would you, I
I
imagine.
mean, him, he's
Oh,
more
yeah.
qualified. I find metal genre is really hard to describe with words and differentiate from each other. Do you
Yeah.
have any kind of way of doing that?
Well, I will quote. Are you familiar with Gorgoroth at all? Do you know the band Gorgoroth?
I've heard the name. I can't
Okay.
say I've heard their music.
So their frontman, his stage name is Gall. He's a genius musically. I actually met him when I was in Norway a couple years ago, like total chance meeting. But he has a famous interview where he's sitting in a dark wine cellar and he's like swirling a glass of red wine. And I think the interviewer asked him, like, what does black metal mean to him? I think it was the question. And then he's just swirling the wine glass, and then he just looks at him and he says in his like deep, sort of like grumbly voice, he's like, Satan. And that's all he says. He's like, that's all it means. And then the interviewer is like, well, and what does Satan signify? And he says, freedom. That's it. 2 words. So I will kind of just
leave it at that.
I'll leave it at that. Yeah, because you really can't top that, because that's at the core of black metal. I mean, that's what it is.
But I feel like that's if you're immersed in the genre, you kind of you get that. But
Yeah.
someone looking from the outside is
Yeah.
kind of like, what
Yeah,
the hell
like,
does that mean?
We don't know who Gilgamesh is, so. If we're
Whoa,
talking-
wait, hold
Yeah.
on now.
Gilgamesh,
Hold on, wait.
right.
Okay.
So, anyways, we're talking about Gilgamesh, and anyways,
Who the fuck is that?
it's the guy that
Who's
he
he
was talking
talking
about.
about?
Anyways,
No, I thought he said Gaul.
what would you describe?
did say
What makes your music black metal?
What would I mean, sonically, there's a lot of things that fit into black metal. I mean, it's got to be fast, it's got to be angry, it's got to be heavy, and I think a lot of my stuff has that in it as well. You know, you've got a lot of overly distorted guitars, you've got drums that are very fast, a lot of blast beats. But I mean, it's kind of the overall like attitude of it that I think is really what makes it black metal. And I've tried to like marry some other things into my style of music. Like I really like doom metal and a lot of that kind of stuff too, like slower, heavier kind of stuff. So, and some more melodic elements. So I've sort of like mixed some of that in with my music at least. So I've kind of like bridged some gaps between black metal and some other genres, which a lot of like pure black metal fans will undoubtedly hate, but I don't really care. So because I'm just staying true to what I like to write.
Ultimately, you're gonna make your best stuff too whenever you're doing what you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. Yeah, because I think with any art form, whether it's music or whatever, it's like you have to make it for you and kind of like fuck what everybody else thinks.
So have you had any like genres that you want to try to mix in with your music now that you want to try, like anything with synth or something?
Yeah, I really would like to incorporate some more like symphonic type stuff in with it. I think I need to experiment a little bit with that more, because I do have some symphonic things in my music currently, but I'd like to explore that a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we have your copyrights?
No.
What's your checking
worth
account
something.
number?
I mean, it was worth a try.
If we use your music, will you like copy strike us?
Yeah, in like the intro or something.
If we like throw it in the intro
No, you can use it for that.
for this one time, okay.
Is your stuff on YouTube?
Yeah.
It's on Apple Music.
It might actually get
And
picked up
Apple
as
Music.
copyright
How many,
like,
It
automatically.
might, yeah.
How many albums do you have out,
I've got
and or singles?
I've got one full length, 2 EPs.
Which you know.
It was on a split. And then there's a single out there, and then actually
Got an album coming out.
I have an
right?
album coming out in
Which will
what time
be,
is it?
It'll be out by the time
It'll
the
be out
podcast
in
is out.
Midnight.
4 hours and 12 minutes from right now.
sweet.
This podcast
So-
will be out next Thursday.
All right, so-
it'll be out.
So
called
by
You
the
can stream it
time
now, where can you stream it?
you can stream, yeah, by the time you all see this, you can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube, my Bandcamp page, which also has all my merch. Where else? I think I'm on Amazon Music.
Pretty
too.
much
Is
everything
that-
you
yeah,
need
everything.
there.
Every
It's
major outlet
yeah.
that you could think of. Yeah.
Cool. And that's
Yeah.
called Unbound, right?
Yeah. Unbound.
Is that
the
kind
name
of
the
like?
album.
Is it a concept album?
It is actually.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It's the first. Sorry. Let me just adjust this.
You don't have to explain it because I feel like most artists make a concept album, they kind of want to leave it up for interpretation. But if there's a
Yeah.
theme to it that you want to,
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm cool with just leaving it up to interpretation. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of it is this is the first one that I've actually like published the lyrics for too. So like on Spotify and Apple Music and like on Bandcamp, like you can read the lyrics and all that. And
Do they
like,
follow along? Do you have them synced up?
no, I didn't do that. I think I can. I haven't yet. But yeah, the lyrics are there, and you can kind of like read along with it. And but I mean, generally, without getting too into it, the as the name implies, Unbound is all about just sort of like liberating yourself and freeing your mind and things like that. And it's very very much like it's a very Satanist kind of vibe. Yeah, for lack of a better term. Yeah, kind of like being your own god, your own devil, your own master, that sort of thing.
I know Caleb and I wanted to both know what your songwriting process is. I wanted to know specifically for the lyrics. Do you come up, because I don't know how black metal writing is even like done. Do you come up with like the lyrics first, or is it more of like you're making instrumentals and then you're kind of just screaming over it and then you think of what the words are?
No, so I personally I start with the guitar parts first. So like I kind of like come up with the riffs, and then I'll put the drums over it and kind of like tweak those two as I need to make them fit each other. And then usually at that point, if I don't already have some lyrics written, like I'll write the lyrics and then kind of like fit them to the song that's already been written, and then I'll record it. Excuse me, over that.
Disgusting.
So I know, so gross, right?
We invite you out of the kindness of our hearts on the podcast.
And you take a shit on the casting couch.
I know, right? So terrible. So yeah, the lyrics and the vocals come afterwards, but it's not just like I don't just like scream random shit and then like pick words after. There's definitely.
Well, the reason I asked that is because Caleb makes music himself, and whenever I've watched his like creative process, whenever he's coming up with like vocal parts, you'll just kind of like nah, like a Sims character.
Yeah.
I imagine it's also different for death metal or black metal and any kind of metal where it's just there's growling and harsh vocals,
That's why
but
I was
Yeah.
like, thinking it might be easier.
it's
or
more
harder.
rhythmically important than anything.
Like sometimes for like a first draft, so to speak, of like a song, like sometimes I will just sort of like scat the lyrics, like for lack of a better term. Like I'll just sort of like make noises to like get the rhythm of it down.
Yeah.
And then I'll listen to it and like go back and then I'll think of words to like fit in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually But by the final product, there's always something that.
Yeah, and
well thought out.
there's no real melody in harsh vocals. So it's kind of like do you go back and listen to the rhythm and then figure out what kind of screams you're going to do? Like whether they're guttural or a fry or high pitched?
So yeah, I'll go back and think like, okay, like since like, like if the guitar part is like real low on this part, like I should go like a higher pitched scream, and then if the vice versa. So, and that's kind of what I like to try to do with my music in particular. Like black metal is usually like all like higher pitched, sort of like Fry screaming kind of stuff. But like I try to add some variation too. Like I'll throw some more guttural stuff in there, and like even do some more like yelling it's not screaming or growling. So I try to throw some variation in there for that.
I gotta know, man. Do you work out with your music playing?
Do I work out with my own music playing?
Yeah.
No. Hell no.
I had to know.
No.
I think if I made music like that, I think I would.
No, it's kind of like after you watch like how like what's the saying, like how sausage is made or whatever, like you don't want to eat it anymore. It's sort of like after I make it, I'm kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, you're tired of listening to
Yeah,
it.
I don't want to listen to it anymore. Like I'm done with it.
I think that goes with anything creative,
Mm-hmm.
like, especially if you make it. If you make
Yeah.
something, you look at it, you know how it was made, so it
Yeah.
sounds cool. For
Yeah,
you.
like because you'll like I hear like every imperfection in it.
Exactly. Right.
Like I'll be like, oh, I fucked this part up so bad, but like I can't make it any better because of how the mix is or whatever.
Right.
Like no matter how much I try, but other people listen to it and they don't notice. So it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, I've baked a cake before and I've eaten it. So
Okay.
was it good?
Not the same.
yeah, it's pretty good.
What kind of cake was it?
I don't remember.
You weren't getting like PTSD as you were like digging into it. You're like, I remember how this was made.
No, see? So I think my creative process is just different.
Did you make it from scratch or did you use cake mix?
Cake mix.
Oh, so
I'm not a genius,
Well,
John.
what about
You
what
didn't
would
get
happen
the raw
if you accidentally use salt instead of sugar? And you're like, oh man, I really messed this cake up.
That wouldn't happen. I follow the instructions.
well, that's.
Okay, well,
I think that matches the analogy a little bit better though. Like if you use salt and you know you fucked it up.
That was a great analogy, by the way.
It was real off the dome too. That's good.
thank you.
No, he wrote it down. But sorry, go on. This is scripted.
This entire everything we've said so
Sorry,
far.
fall back on script. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob has a little like tablet over there right in front of the desk.
Actually, on the inside of my sunglasses is actually what I'm supposed to say.
It's like Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's just one piece
Exactly.
of paper. Just, he has a
Really-
He can't even see us.
Really small print.
He's a
it's
magnifying
really
glass.
hard to read. Yeah, that's why if I stutter or if I like take too long or if I like do this, I'm actually just reading
the
what's
script.
inside my glasses. Yeah.
This is all
probably-
scripted too.
Yeah, we probably
Yep.
shouldn't have said
Even
that.
in,
but-
in
100%
even more
should've told
meta
everybody.
script, we have this all
Even
scripted.
this.
Oh, dude, stop! You're gonna blow it up.
Yep.
What if we had like a telegraph up there that just like read everything?
Teleprompter.
Oh yeah, that
Telegraph.
telegraph. I was like, no, I don't think that's a word, but nobody would know.
I should just let you go. Yeah, but you would know though. Your
See, I would know.
conscience
I would
then
have
you would
known.
Go back and then you listen to the podcast. and
I'd be
like,
working out to this
"Fucking idiot."
podcast,
Yeah.
Right.
and I'd be pissed. I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, I messed that up."
Yeah, I'd be like, you
That was a
missed
great
that
question,
line.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether he worked out to his own music.
Yeah, because I mean, I would want to know.
I've never worked out to my
We'll
own
work on
music.
I put
AKA
all
the
my
one
art
song
on
I
my
made.
wall in my room.
Yeah.
I look at it all the time.
Do you really?
I don't know. No, I couldn't. The same reason. I mean,
Well, Caleb does.
that's why I was wondering was because like, because it makes sense because black metal is good workout music. I've worked out to black metal before, but you would know. I mean, you know all the imperfections. Same thing with if I'm looking back at my art. I mean, a lot of people aren't artistically talented. I don't even consider myself professional or even good. I think I'm just like I think I'm above average. But like I look at everything that I make and I think it's good. But like I look at the fucking corner where I didn't cover up like a piece of fucking outline on somebody or some shit.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so I mean, I think it works for anything creatively.
Well, do you think like artists, or I'll even call them like creationists in general,
Creators.
creators? I like the word.
Creationist is
I like
a
the word
thing.
creationist.
Creationist is
I think
that's what-
creationist
that's what-
is like a
They think
Christian
God made
part
the
of
earth.
Christianity,
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
It's like a sub level of.
Yeah.
Anyways, what you're saying?
Regardless, do you think artists in general hate like don't? I mean, they don't hate what they make, but they're so like critical of what they make that like they don't want to like listen to it over or like look at it. Like for example, like an artist, like say like he paints a painting, and like I don't think he would hang it on his own wall because I don't think he'd want to see it.
No.
Do you think that's true?
I think people definitely have.
Do you think it's like it's more of like a spectrum, or do you think the majority of the time people that like create stuff or make stuff don't want to like look
Definitely
back?
majority. Yeah, definitely majority. But
Why do you think that
there's
is?
definitely some people that also have like hung it up or something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if art is your, like actually like painting is your hobby, I feel like majority of the time you hanging up on the wall.
Right. I think, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, painting is like a whole separate thing. Because, like,
Professional
I mean,
painting
we
might
have
be
right
different.
behind the cameras right now, we have stuff that Caleb made, and it's hung up on the wall. So, I mean, I think that's, yeah, I think that goes without saying. Yeah. Somebody would have it. Yeah.
Yeah. Those paintings, what?
What?
Someone would have it. Just so happens to be him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think professional painters, I mean, they
That's
do
what
it for
I'm saying.
money, so.
Yeah. Oh, true. So I guess they wouldn't have it anyways.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the art form. Yeah, but because if I was a sculptor, dude, if I had like a marble like statue of somebody, I'd fucking have that in my like main entrance of the house or some shit.
Yeah, and
But
if
you'd
I-
see the
too.
imperfections and stuff
If
still.
I went into a
Yeah,
painter's
true.
house and then went up to a painting, I'm like, this is a great painting. They're like, I did that. I would not be surprised at all.
Right. Also, yeah, well, what Jake just brought it back was if you're a sculptor, say you have like a sculpture in like the main entrance of your house, you think like you would be like, oh, that's really cool, I like that, and they'd be like, yeah, but I mean right here, like on the corner of the
I think they would. Sure.
yeah, that would suck. Would you get a sculpture of yourself like commissioned?
Of myself?
Yeah.
No.
Would you get a sculpture at all commissioned of like
Oh yeah.
anybody
Oh yeah, for sure.
in history?
If it was like free, like 'cause I'm not paying for that.
Oh,
but I mean, yeah, if I could get a sculpture of something made,
Who would it be? Or what would it be?
Who's your historical like humanoid? It has to be a humanoid
Okay,
person.
it has to be a real person who's actually existed.
Mine's Abraham Lincoln. Please don't take it.
I'm not going to take Abraham
Please,
Lincoln.
please.
Oh man.
Please
Honestly, no. You know what? Since we're talking about paintings and all that, there's that really badass painting of Napoleon Bonaparte, like crossing the Alps.
Okay.
He's like on his horse, and it's all like triumphant looking. Like I would get that
Sculpted?
as a sculpture.
John, throw up the painting.
Thanks, Jake. Give me some work.
Yeah, I would do like something like that. Yeah, like Napoleon like on his horse with like, well, the mountains obviously wouldn't be in the background since it's like a sculpture of him. But
No,
like,
no,
yeah.
you got to
But-
get the mountains too, dude.
Okay, all right, yeah.
John,
that's-
throw up a
that's
picture of the
sculptures.
mountains.
Yeah, I mean, if
I'll
it's
throw
free,
up a sculpture
yeah.
that I made
Yeah.
to show what he's talking about.
I want to see some mountains.
You could
so-
do one of those
a
like
drawing.
cool 3D, like you ever see like a painting that has like a 3D effect where it's kind of like all the different like layers and stuff.
Yeah.
You could do that with like it's small
Perfect.
mountains in the background.
Yeah.
but, like depending on how you're looking
But
at
the
it.
angle, yeah,
Right.
I
It's
dig
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah, we could
With your
totally do
face
that.
where Napoleon's is.
No, I want his face on it. Yeah, I want to admire it as it. Yeah, I don't want to be involved. I just want to look at it.
You don't want to make it like pop art or anything. Like have him have sunglasses or something.
No,
Like shutter
no,
shades.
no. I want it to look like Michelangelo, or wait, he was the sculptor, right? Michelangelo.
Michelangelo
No,
is
he
the
was
guy
the
that painted
painter.
the
He
Sistine
was
Chapel.
shit. Who was the sculptor?
Da Vinci?
I think
Vinci?
yeah.
He's
I think he
sculptures,
did.
right?
Yeah,
John's on his his
One of
facts
them.
tonight.
yeah.
What?
I mean,
You're in your facts tonight.
I said it like a question. I didn't even know it.
He's on
I'm
his
the
facts.
one that
tonight.
said
he
it.
said it first. Yeah.
John is
Or Van
just-
Gogh? No, he was a painter
No,
too.
also
yeah,
a
I don't
painter.
know.
Caleb's just like Da Vinci.
Donatello?
And I'm like,
Yeah, there
Da
we go.
Vinci?
One of
You're
those.
like,
Michelangelo.
Good job, John. You
I guess
did it.
Michelangelo probably was
Oh.
a sculptor too.
one of the Ninja Turtles. you know.
Raphael was another one.
Yep. See,
No, that's a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, they're all new
Can't believe
turtles.
they- named-
nobody talks about how they did all that stuff and they were turtles, right?
they named
it's
all the
weird.
painters.
Sculpted
did
and
all that
painted.
turtles.
And, yeah.
So how's it feel that you guys don't have headphones on?
I feel naked.
It feels a little weird because
Do you feel like a noob, kind of?
No.
I mean, I don't.
no.
Why would you have headphones?
Well, because the sound quality,
See, contrary
Better
to
than real
popular
life.
belief,
great. It's way better than real life.
Is it crispy?
It's very crisp.
Is
It's
it?
like
Yeah.
it's like opening up a nice Miller Lite.
Cheers.
see, Bob, you might not know this, but I mean, you do now, obviously. But
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief, people often think that we don't have ears because we're covered all the time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
Nope,
always
I
in
can,
our
I can see
comments.
that, but
Every
but
comment
now,
we get.
now I can attest to it that I see at least.
We
I only see four
At least
because
four.
well, he doesn't have ears.
Yeah, you don't have
we
ears.
keep,
You know, like how
we keep his
reptiles-
I gotta
goals.
hide that.
yeah,
You know how reptiles don't have
Yep.
ears?
Just have holes.
Yeah,
That's what I am.
you're a reptile.
Yeah.
Wait, how are the headphones balancing on your? I guess on your skull. That makes sense.
Yeah, on the top.
Oh.
I don't think
Sorry.
Dude, do you even
Don't-
think,
Don't
really?
look at me like that,
they
dude.
don't usually balance on your ears.
Does your brain even work? Yeah, of course I can't use earbuds. That would just be silly. They would be in my
if I had
holes.
headphones right now, I'd be thinking a lot more like clearly. it's different.
Yeah,
Stop looking at me like
headphones,
that. You're so disappointed. I don't like it.
It's okay.
What were you gonna say?
I don't fucking know.
Something about ears.
Ears.
I don't know. I don't want to talk
He
about
wants
ears anymore.
he wants somebody to change the subject because he's very embarrassed.
About his
About my
ears.
ears?
No, him.
Now everyone's looking at your ears.
You can't even really see his ears.
You can't really. He's got the hair. He's got the flow over it.
I wouldn't know.
How long you been singing, Veska?
Oh yeah.
How long?
How long
'cause
has this craft been crafting?
harsh vocals take a long time. It's a craft that you need to spend
Yeah.
years and years on
Yeah.
to do properly.
Like the vocals part.
Yeah.
So I started my first band when I was a sophomore in high school. So I was like 15 or 16. And that was like, since I had no real musical talent at the time, I decided to be the vocalist. And I kind of like learned the hard way how to do it. Like I lost my voice a lot. Right. And then like my next band after that, I also did vocals. And then now I do it for Veska. And it's like, I just kind of learned like trial by error. But I mean, I've been doing it now for, I don't know, 14, 15 years on and off.
Yeah.
Do you have a special remedy that you take like before or after you scream or anything? Like, because I know Andy Serkis, whenever he's doing like the Gollum voice, he would take like, it was like a honey and something else mixture.
Beforehand, I'll usually have like a glass or two of like Yukon Jack or whatever like whiskey I have available. Yukon's usually my go-to. Just to kind of like add some like roughness like to the sound of my voice, but like within like while I'm recording, because sometimes it can go on for like hours depending on how much Yukon is involved and how driven I am that night. Oh, I only do vocals at night too. I can't do it while the sun's out. It's really weird. And I have to have the lights off in the room too. Like the only light can be from like my computer monitor. Like it's weird. But other than that, like it's just water.
Is that a psychological thing, or is that like you discover that you just do better at night?
Both, I think. I don't know.
You notice
I think it's both.
your muscles start bulging a little bit more at night, like you just feel stronger.
Yeah, like I just feel more in tune with it at night, I guess. Like there's just something about like screaming and like kind of shrieking like a banshee that like just doesn't vibe with like if the sun's out. It's kind of weird. So like it has to be nighttime.
I'm not gonna lie, Bob, you kind of sound like a vampire right now.
No, like I do very much go out during the day.
That's
of course,
what the V stands for, really.
V for vampire.
Do you have neighbors?
No,
no neighbors.
No, I have like 3 acres of land and no neighbors. So yeah, there's nobody to hear me scream. So I could die, and like nobody would know for a very long time.
Who would be the first?
My cats would eat me, but
That's awesome.
yeah.
Who would be the first to find out that you died?
I don't know. Probably somebody at work, like asking why I'm not there. And certainly not my family or anything. But
You think if you didn't answer that they would drive to your house?
They might
We
do,
know
like, a
one person who
wellness
would.
check.
yeah, they probably would to like yell at me. They'd probably be like, you need to send the cops to go yell at him for not being at work.
The cops?
Yeah,
I don't know if they would.
you know how it is.
I think it's more of a wellness.
We won't say who we work for, but
Definitely not.
you know how it is.
I don't know. We don't work together. We're
Germans.
Oh, you're right.
We met you.
You're right.
You
We've
on,
never
like,
met.
The
We've
Hollywood
never met
Boulevard.
before. You're right. Yep. That's right.
So is
We're in
Veska
LA.
like? Is Veska a band or is it like an embodiment of yourself?
Oh man.
It's just out of nowhere, dude.
The hardest question.
That was from Jake too.
I think it's both. Like it is. It's a solo band, but like it has also sort of become like an identity for me. Because like I said earlier, it started off as just a hobby, like something to do, and then it just like slowly transformed into like something more. And so yeah, it is kind of like it's an identity.
I think a lot of people have the wrong interpretation or understanding of people who do metal, any metal genre. They're some of like the nicest people I've ever met. I've been to like a lot of metal concerts and shit, and I've never been treated better at a concert by the people as well. Like just the people that listen to the music. So especially knowing you personally.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like any metal show I've ever been to, like you got these like dudes who are like playing on stage, like they're like all scary looking, and they're like screaming and banging their heads and all that, and they like look terrifying, and then like after their set, they're like hanging out in the crowd, just like chilling with people, and like usually like, hey man, like I really liked your set, and they're like, oh hey thanks, like they're just like they're cool people, like it's awesome.
They're like petting their Pomeranian.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird how that works. It's like a super like aggressive kind of like vibe with the music, but like in real life, they're just like the coolest people ever.
Well, even they have those like mosh pits and like wall of death and shit.
Yeah.
And then like, but during it, anybody gets knocked down, everyone is there to pick them
Sure.
up.
Yeah. There was one band I saw. I can't remember who it was. It was a death metal band years ago. Their singer was like. Oh yeah, there was like people like falling down in the pit or something, and he was like, "If people fall down, don't pick them back up," and then like
Stomp on their faces.
and then they kept playing. It's like that was like one time though. I don't even remember who it was, but yeah, 99% of the time.
You ever think about what all you might want to do in the future as in like a brand? Like, do you want to be solo as far as you go, or do you want to?
No, I really want to expand and have like a full band.
Do you want Veska to be a band, or do you just want Veska to be its own thing and then move on to something else?
No, yeah, no, I want Veska to be like a full band and like kind of expand from where it's at right now.
Have you tried looking into?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said this year that's your goal, right?
Yeah,
Over the next year.
I don't have like a lot of details to share.
Like like a Craigslist ad?
No, not even that. No.
drama?
But yeah, there's a couple folks that are going to be joining me in the next year. So we'll be.
Are you gonna have like auditions?
No, not auditions. It's just like people that I know that I've played with previously and or have like networked with who like I know are up to it. So
Can we hold auditions?
Yeah, can we be the judges?
They could be like right there, and we can be like three judges.
they'd be like,
Americans.
no, I don't like him. They're like, yeah, he was pretty good to me. I don't know. But yeah, there's plans to do that because like I can't keep doing this all by myself.
I believe you're in the Army, right?
I was, yeah.
Okay, you said 5 years then. What was your rank?
5 years, yep. Captain.
Captain.
Yep.
I don't know how the Army works at all. So.
Yeah, that means.
But
dog
you were in
shit to
charge
me,
of
but-
people, right?
I was, yep.
Interesting.
Sure was.
Did you see combat?
No, I'd never got to do anything.
Was there
cool
a chance of
at all.
that?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, yeah. The unit that I was stationed with got deployed while I was stationed there, but it was a pretty small deployments. They didn't really need a whole lot of people from the. I was in a support battalion, so they didn't really need a big support package, so I didn't get to go. But
Did you go anywhere cool?
nah,
You
not
stayed in the
really.
States?
Yeah, I stayed in the States, but I mean, I've been to Europe and stuff, but that was like my own.
Right.
You said you went to
traveling.
Norway, right?
Hmm?
How was that? I've always wanted to go there.
Norway? It's fucking awesome.
You sightsee, see the mountains and shit.
Oh yeah, I didn't climb a mountain. I took like a trolley to the top of a mountain because it was too far, and I was on vacation. But
Yeah,
yeah, it was awesome. I fucking love Norway.
that'd be cool.
I
Yeah.
would love to.
There's a
move
big
there.
metal scene there, right?
Oh yeah,
That's what
Was
I
that-
was thinking.
was
yeah.
that
I mean,
where
that's
that's
where black metal
was
started,
born, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Norway.
Well, who were like kind of the founding fathers of black metal? Was Mayhem kind of the big start?
Yeah. So, yes, I mean you could take it a step further back and kind of say that really like what's considered like the first wave of black metal. You know, bands like Venom, who actually had an album called Black Metal that kind of gave a name to what the second wave, which was like Mayhem and Emperor and Gorgoroth.
Do you think-
Dimmu Borgir and all them? But
That second wave kind of defined the genre,
Yeah.
whereas bands like Venom kind of started the
yeah,
the
it's kind of like
transition.
all it sort of all like pieced itself together.
Yeah.
Like you had like the first wave, which in my opinion was kind of more like thrash metal, like looking back on it, and then like the second wave was like really what defined it as black metal. But a lot of it, almost all of it, kicked off in Norway, and then obviously like Sweden had a big scene as well, and then it just kind of spread from there.
Do you really think you could put like a label on something that doesn't have multiple versions of it by like a different creator or something? Because like if Mayhem was like the one and only, and there wasn't Venom after that, there wasn't any other like black metal artists. Do you think it would be black metal, or do you think it would just be, oh, that's just Mayhem, that's just what they sound like?
I don't know. I think they made a big enough impact, like Mayhem in particular, made a big enough of a splash that like it still would have stuck. Because like they had the church burnings and like the murders and suicides and all that stuff associated with them. Right. That like
Excuse
me,
I don't know anything
there's
about
a,
it.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a real dark
history
history with Mayhem.
Mayhem is like
Are you willing to summarize? Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, like the real short version of it is that their
lead singer.
their bass. Well, so first, they're one of their lead singers at the time like killed himself, and their band members used a picture of his dead body as an album cover of theirs. Jeez. And then like shortly thereafter, their bass player stabbed their guitarist to death, and all this stuff. And actually, he only did like 17 years in prison because Norway's like very relaxed with their with their criminal proceedings. So and then they were also indicted with like a lot of church burnings and other stuff that like other black metal bands were involved in the early 90s.
Them, like they did it, or they had fans? Okay.
Yeah, no, they did. Like the actual band members did it. Like,
was it because their music was just so like black metal? You know?
No, like they well, kind
Just
of
probably
I
their
guess.
belief system.
Yeah, like they truly like embodied like the very like anti-Christian sentiment that like was prevalent in that early black metal scene, to the point where like the bands themselves would like go like burn churches down in the middle of the night, and they would take pictures of it and make that their album covers. Like that's what they did. I mean, they would. I think at least they would make sure nobody was inside, because like they didn't really want to like kill it. Well, except for the ones that did kill people. They didn't want to kill people in those acts, but
they also were like severely depressed.
Oh yeah.
Like the lead singer that you mentioned, his name's Dead, right?
Yeah, his stage name was Dead because he truly felt like he chose that name because he felt like he wasn't alive. Like
I don't remember the story exactly, but I know he was just like really depressed, and he was he locked himself in his room for weeks and weeks until he inevitably took his life.
Yeah. And
then his roommate went in and saw him, and then I think he kind of like rearranged the scene a little bit to make it look more aesthetic for the album cover.
Yeah, there's a lot of like
he was really twisted as well.
Yeah.
But it's really
he was the one
really
who got
dark.
stabbed to death eventually.
Yeah.
There is a movie called Lords of Chaos that is based on the book of the same name that tells that story, which most like black metal fans will kind of like tell you that the movie sucks or whatever. I think it's a pretty cool movie personally. Like it's kind of neat. I'd recommend watching it. It's kind of fun. But
if someone hears that, like the start, like Mayhem with all that really dark stuff going on, they would assume that death or black metal is kind of a weird thing for people to gravitate towards. Why do you think there is a fan base? Because obviously not everyone's like that likes black metal is anti-Christian or like wants to kill themselves.
Yeah.
So do you think it's just more they're attracted to the history of it, or just the sound?
I think I think it's sort of up to the individual. You know, it's like maybe it's just the sound of the music that interests you, or maybe like the history of it kind of intrigues you and like gets you into it, and then like the music is the after effect. I think I think everybody's a little bit different. I mean, for me, it was a little bit of both. Like I was as a young impressionable boy, I was like, oh yeah, this is like pretty cool. Like they did all this like, you know, intriguing kind of stuff. I mean, obviously like burning churches and stuff is You know, shouldn't do that.
Well, you
but-
can condemn it and also like the
Sure.
music.
Like you shouldn't do that, like really. But like as a teenager, you're like, oh, it's kind of cool, and then like
Right. It's edgy.
yeah, and then like the music was badass, and like they like corpse paint, and, like spiky gauntlets and black leather and everything.
Right.
So like it's cool. Yeah.
Do you have a soft side? Do you like to listen to like smoother stuff, more
I
vibey
do.
stuff?
Yeah, I love Lana Del Rey. Do you ever listen to Lana Del Rey?
Yes.
I can't get enough of
love
that.
Lana.
I love Lana Del Rey.
She's coming out with a new album as well.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Oh, hell
You have a competition.
I
Should
yeah,
have had
I
her
do.
on. Fuck.
Yeah, I know.
So Bob, it sounds like this genre, right? So we got the origin story. It sounds like a very hateful genre, but
yeah.
you sound like a very loving person. You said I really care about other people.
Sure.
So did you have like a traumatic event when you were younger that led you to start doing this and following this, or did you just like the sound and you just?
No, not really. I honestly, I've had a pretty like vanilla upbringing. If I'm gonna be totally honest, like there's nothing.
So you don't have any ethnic background.
No.
You have a vanilla upbringing.
Yeah.
Is there anything cool about you?
There's there's really nothing at all. I mean, I like to wear my sunglasses inside, but that's about it.
Well, I think having an ordinary upbringing might lead you to seeing this really jarring art form and kind of
Yeah, it's sort
You
of like
find it
it, like
intriguing.
it brings some excitement to it,
right.
to life, you know.
And it's got this whole crazy like history and scene around it.
Yeah, and like I'm kind of like, I like to the real world is like kind of boring, so I like to sort of like live in my own like imaginary kind of world, and so like creating music is sort of like an escape to do that, where I can just sort of like just write about whatever I want, and like finding bands that also do the same thing is like it's kind of an escape from like the mundane trappings of everyday life.
Do you ever imagine your music put over like an animation or like a movie or something like that? Do you ever visualize something that you can't create?
Not really, no, because actually there's a guy I work with. He's based in Canada. He did a music video for me over the summer, and he's actually working on one for me now for the new album. So like he kind of brings my visualizations to life. So the new one, it's gonna be pretty cool. I don't want to like spoil too much of it, but it's gonna be like really violent. And
Do you give him ideas, or does he just kind of do it?
we like discuss things a little bit, and then like since like filmmaking is kind of like his passion, like I just kind of let him run with it. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this one turns out. But yeah, it's gonna be gross. It's gonna be awesome. Like the only parameters I really gave was, I mean, we talked about some specifics, but I said if it doesn't have like the explicit content warning on YouTube, then like we've failed. Like I want it to be like you have to sign in that you're 18 and over or whatever. Like, yeah.
Well, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of like deathcore, death metal, black metal music videos, and there's definitely a lot that can be pretty disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever see the one by Dark Funeral for their song My Funeral?
No.
Oh, that's a good one.
I've seen what's the band? There's a couple like Dying Fetus and like some of the really intense ones that just go for shock value.
Yeah.
Overall.
That Dark Funeral one is just like
Infinite Annihilator, they're a big
yeah.
one, yeah.
Yeah. The Dark Funeral one is just like building up to a shot of a dude just like shooting himself in the head, like in the middle of it. And it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Did you know that you liked black metal as soon as you heard it?
Yeah.
Really?
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like the first, I think it, what was it? Like the first like true, just like straight up black metal band I listened to was Gorgoroth. And like I was hooked. And then like I just followed it up with like, it was like Behemoth and Belphegor, which were more like black and death metal. But then I got into like Mayhem and Marduk and like all those ones. And it was like, yeah.
So Gilgamesh was your starting one.
You gotta quit calling it Gilgamesh. But yeah.
That's interesting because I back when I was in high school, I got into deathcore and death metal, and it was kind of a slow progression from like classic rock, and I kind of had to like dip my toe in and just ease my way in because it was really shocking to my innocent ears.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I heard it and was just like,
Yeah.
I dove like head first right into
Because
it.
I
and
used to
couldn't get
hear
enough of it.
deathcore, and I was like, this isn't even music. This is just like noise. And then I think I heard a Rings of Saturn song,
Oh yeah,
and I was like, I can mess with this.
yeah,
And then I started bumping that, and then just kept finding more songs that I enjoyed.
yeah. Yes, it's different for everybody. Yeah, some people
Yeah.
it's like it's a slow progression. Other people like they hear
Definitely
it, it
is.
just like clicks. You're like, yep, this is what I'm doing now.
And that was definitely like an individual thing. You didn't have your parents weren't playing black metal.
No, my parents definitely are not into black metal at all.
See, that's weird to me because my upbringing was completely. I was listening to country and pop whenever I was growing up, and I stray away from that completely now. So that's cool that you like just heard it right away.
Yep. And like me and a bunch of my friends kind of all got into it at the same time. Like not even specifically black metal, just like metal in general, and that sort of like became our identity as like a group of friends. And like to this day, I mean like you know, we're in our 30s now and we're like still like swapping albums and stuff, you know, like talking about new music and stuff like. And so it's really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, music is truly a way to like unify the people.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Or divide them, either way.
I also think when you're getting into metal, unless you like it right away, like you did, kind of looking at the vocals as another instrument
Yeah.
instead of just like sing. Because if you're
Yeah.
looking for like a
Yeah.
pop song, you're like, this doesn't sound like Lana Del Rey. You kind of have to put aside what you've known.
Yeah, that's the way that like I actually tell. I mean, it's not like an original thing to say, but like that's usually what I tell people is like when they say like, "Oh, I can't listen to metal because it just sounds like a bunch of screaming and blah blah blah." It's like, well, yeah, it is, but like, don't think of it as somebody's voice. Like, don't worry about what they're saying. Really, I mean, like,
Really, it's just like raw emotion.
it's like it. Just think of it as another instrument. Like it's just part of it. Like do you listen to Lorna Shore at all? Do you
I know them. Yeah.
Do you listen to their new album, Pain Remains, the one that came out last year?
Did it have that one single on that Into the Hellfire? Was that it?
No, that was from their EP.
Okay, no, I didn't hear
But
the new album.
you got to check out their full length.
Yeah, he's an amazing
Remains.
vocalist.
Yeah.
I mean, he has incredible range.
And like that album, it's my number one album of 2022. Like, and like deathcore is not typically my go-to, but just like you were saying about like the raw emotion that you can convey with that kind of vocal style, and like Will Ramos, just I mean, the range that he has and like the specific like lyrical content on that album is just like it's incredible, like what he does. So yeah, I just can't recommend that one enough.
Do you know Shadow of Intent?
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
And they're a really good example of blending symphonic with deathcore.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's when you said you wanted to incorporate more symphony into your music. That's the first band I thought of because they do it so seamlessly.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love when bands are able to do that. And even like if you go back to like the like all the I'm trying to think of when that album. Anyway, but if you go back to like even earlier, like Dimmu Borgir in the black metal scene, I mean, like they were doing symphonic stuff pretty early on too, and they still do it. I mean, nowadays when they tour, they bring the whole like Oslo Philharmonic with them. They have like a pit orchestra that tours with them. It's pretty insane. But yeah, I love that stuff.
I think you should change it up a little bit. You should get a big band to like follow you.
An
around.
actual big band,
Yeah.
yeah.
with the tuba.
Like clarinets and
Yeah,
So-
that would be
flutes.
cool.
You said you record a lot at night. Do you
Yeah.
think you're like more like emotional, like more emotions come out at night? So that's like another reason?
Yeah, I think so, actually. Like during the day, I'm kind of like numb to like what's going on around me, and then I don't know, something about like whenever it's nighttime, I'm like actually can kind of like feel, you know.
Do you think it's like a feeling of like anger or more like sadness?
I don't really
or
know
neither?
that it's either. I think
Yeah.
it's like it's more of a feeling of like clarity,
Okay.
where it's like everything is like still and there's nothing expected of me anymore. Like nobody's bothering me about anything, so it's like I can actually like stop and think, and then whatever comes out is what comes out, you know.
So it's like your vocals are loud, but the inside is quiet.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, like inside, like I'm actually like very much at peace,
Zen.
but then it's like everything that comes out is like very chaotic. Yeah.
Yeah. You told me before that you don't always get your screaming right in one take.
Yeah.
Like you'll come back to it. Sometimes you'll do it for how long and then you'll leave it and then wait. Do you have to be like the right mindset, or is it more of like a trial and error?
Yeah, like a lot of times I do have to kind of be in the right mindset, like to record it. Like if I was gonna just like do it live, like I could muster it up and it would be fine. But like if I know that like I'm being recorded, like I need to make sure it's like as perfect as I can get it. So, yeah, like I have to make sure that just like the feeling is there, and like I can't always predict when that's gonna happen. But like a lot of times it's like I'll come home at the end of the day and I'll be like thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what, like yeah, like tonight's the night, like let's do it, let's do it. So,
Does
and
that
then we
ever
just
get
go.
like fizzled out though? That happens to me a lot, where I'll be like inspired during the day, and then whenever I finally get to it, I'll be like, fuck it, I have no motivation.
Sometimes
It's all about timing.
yeah.
So
Sometimes
you're to be
that
driving
happens.
home like I'm ready.
I gotta have a spark, right there in the moment.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens for sure, and it's like, all right, yeah, never mind, not happening tonight.
That's the worst. That's whenever you want to be full time, like in music, 'cause,
Right,
so then you have
yeah.
the time to like be prepared for whenever you get that spark.
Exactly, because sometimes you get the spark at like the absolute worst moment when you're like, oh, I just started my 12-hour shift, and like I hope I can hold on to this. And it's like, well, no, I can't. So
You're like taking a shit in the bathroom at work, and you just start like screaming. You're like, I got this cool. I gotta do this out loud. And you're just screaming
Yeah.
at the stall.
Your
yeah,
voice
that's,
memos.
that's how it happens sometimes, and it's like,
Do you ever think about like making music videos yourself?
myself.
Yeah, like solo stuff, something where you just do it in your room. Like, I feel like that'd be kind of unique.
I don't. I would really like to, but I don't know that I have like the know-how to like sync music up with like splicing in different like camera angles and like all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I would, but like I don't know that I mean, I could do it with like just a static camera shot, but like that's kind of boring.
Right. Do you think that would even be worth doing at the point you're at now, like as a solo artist, or would you wait until you have a band?
I'd probably wait till I had like a band, because that's more exciting to like see different people like doing different activities, you know, playing like whatever instrument they're playing. Like,
yeah, would you want it to be yourself, like, or would you want to be kind of like a character? Like, I kind of imagine, I think it'd be really like unique for like a black metal band to do something like the Gorillaz, not the Gorillaz, where they have like animated like character, like it's a fake band.
yeah,
in a band.
no, I'd probably like it to be like
Just you guys.
just us. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, in real life.
There was a band that had like animate. Was it Deathlock?
Death Clock.
Oh, Deathlock.
Yeah.
Metalopolis.
Death Clock.
Was it Death Clock?
No, it's Deathlock.
It's Death Clock.
Deathlock.
Clock.
I'm pretty sure he's right.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it is.
That's some
Deathlock
that's some
is
Mandela shit.
Deathlock is a fictional character
Yeah.
appearing in Marvel.
Yeah, Well, yeah,
Deathlock, yeah.
Deathlock.
I did think it was Deathlock too,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
believe
Death
that,
Clock is
yeah.
the
Come
cartoon
on.
band from.
right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I was actually just talking to somebody about that today. I love that show, Metalocalypse.
Metalopolis.
For sure.
Yeah.
whatever you say, man.
Gilgamesh stars in that.
Okay, so your new album comes out tomorrow,
It does.
tonight, midnight.
Yeah, by the time this airs,
already out.
it will be out for
Right.
About a week. At that
It will
point.
be out,
So-
right. So
So if you haven't listened to it at
6
that
days.
point, fuck you. There we go. That's my official statement.
I would say that black metal isn't really just to be thrown on the aux at a party, unless that's the
definitely
vibe.
Yeah,
But
depends.
how would you suggest people listen to your album? Because when I hear a black metal concept album, I would say late at night, you have a drink, and you kind of just zone out, and that's all you do is just listen to it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Definitely not like, don't put it on like at a party.
All right, yeah.
It's gonna kill the vibe. Like,
Yeah, don't
real
worry, I
quick.
wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah,
I was.
yeah, I would say, yeah, like,
There's a time and place for certain genres.
yeah, definitely more of like
birthday
a
party.
put it on and just kind of like, you know,
Take the whole thing in.
yeah,
as
just take
one
the.
piece.
It's not an incredibly long album either. I mean,
Yeah.
it's 9 tracks, but it's only like 30-ish minutes. So.
What
Yeah,
would
I got-
you think if the metal community blew up and was like, "This is a groundbreaking album"?
I don't know, man.
Do you think it's
I,
at all experimental?
I think like to an extent it is. And because I've sent the album to like a couple different like blogs and zines and such to like be reviewed before it comes out. And I mean, it's been overwhelmingly positive, and a lot of people have talked
cool.
about like that they think it's cool that like I've blended like the doom sound and like more melodic stuff with black metal, and like it's kind of interesting. So I don't, it's obviously not gonna like, I'm not gonna be on like the billboards or anything, but
Well, yeah,
but
no one's talking about that.
but yeah, but it's still kind of like, it's different.
Well, Bob, we've had some good conversations.
We have.
It's cool learning about the background of black metal, especially for me. I don't know much about it.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you for coming.
no problem. Thank you guys for having me. This was
Yeah,
super
of
cool.
We'll do it again whenever you make your next album,
Yeah,
and with your full band too.
yeah, we'll squeeze us
Yeah.
all on the couch here.
All right. Well, you can find Veska on Instagram, Veska_music, right? Are you on Twitter?
No, I'm not on Twitter.
Okay, well,
No.
Instagram is the place to find him. And then his new album comes out, Unbound. It'll be out now everywhere. So
Go stream
check
it right
out.
now.
Hell yeah. Yep. Go
And then you
stream it.
got merch on Bandcamp, right?
do,
Do you have
yeah.
any on you?
And we got
Yep.
merch.
On me, I have
On
the
currently?
stickers and the
Buttons.
pins that I gave you guys. Yeah,
Okay.
that John had on his shirt there. Very well placed.
All right,
Oh,
well,
you
check
took
it
them
out.
off.
We'll have all his links in the description, so that's where you can find him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks, man.
for
Cheers.
coming.
Thank you.